Most people get it wrong when it comes to fruits. Today, I'm going to break down the top 5 least healthy fruits, kind of like an anti-ranking. Let me be clear, these fruits aren't evil. But compared to others, they fall short, and in some cases, they might actually do more harm than good. Stick around till the end, this one's going to be both surprising and valuable. Let's get started. 1. Watermelon. It's cold, it's juicy, it's sweet. Basically the poster child for summer refreshment. But here's the catch. Watermelon is loaded with fast sugars, mostly fructose, and very little fiber. Just one generous serving, about 10 ounces or 300 grams, can contain 20 to 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly the same as a can of Coke. And what makes it worse is how fast it hits your system. Watermelon has a glycemic index of around 72. That's high. It digests extremely quickly, spiking your blood sugar, and just as fast, it crashes. That leaves you hungrier, craving more food. This effect isn't great if you're trying to lose weight, manage energy, or stabilize your insulin levels. Another issue? People don't stop at one slice. They'll eat half a watermelon and say, "It's just water." But in reality, it's more like sugar water in disguise with a bright red smile. To be fair, watermelon isn't all bad. It contains lycopene, an antioxidant that supports heart and skin health. It's also hydrating and acts as a mild diuretic. But the takeaway here is moderation. Watermelon should be an occasional treat, not your go-to snack, especially if you're insulin sensitive. 2. Grapes. Grapes feel so light and harmless. They're small, easy to snack on, and they don't make you feel full, and that's the problem. You'll pop them like candy, one after another. But 100 grams of grapes contain around 17 to 23 grams of sugar and almost no fiber. That means all that sugar is hitting your bloodstream fast. Plus, grapes rank among the top fruits for pesticide residue. Their thin skin makes them especially vulnerable to chemicals, and most people don't wash them properly. So unless you're eating organic grapes, there's a good chance you're getting a cocktail of synthetic residues with each bite. Then there's the allergy issue. Grapes can trigger symptoms in sensitive people like bloating, skin itching, and even migraines. That's because of certain compounds like salicylates and histamine that naturally occur in grapes. What's the upside? Grapes do contain resveratrol, which has some potential for heart and brain support. But you'd have to eat pounds of grapes daily to get a meaningful dose. And by that point, you've also eaten a mountain of sugar and pesticides. In short, tasty, yes. But overrated as a healthy snack? Absolutely. Interlude. Selective breeding. Why fruits got sweeter. Before we move to the third fruit, let's talk about something most people never think about when they eat modern fruit selective breeding, or what's called fruit selection. Selective breeding is the practice of modifying fruits over generations to make them sweeter, bigger, or more appealing. And while that sounds like a good thing, it comes with trade-offs. Let's take grapes, watermelon, and bananas, all of which are in this list. These fruits used to be smaller, more fibrous, and less sugary. Ancient watermelons, for example, were bitter and barely red inside. Bananas were tiny and full of seeds. Grapes used to have way more tannins and less sugar. But farmers, driven by consumer demand, selectively bred varieties that emphasize sweetness, size, and shelf life. That means today's fruits have way more sugar and way less fiber than their original forms. Even the antioxidants and phytochemicals often decline in the process. You're left with fruit that's more pleasure than nutrition. And here's the danger. Most people underestimate just how sugary modern fruits are, because we're still operating under the assumption that fruit equals healthy. But modern fruit is not wild fruit. It's engineered to hit your dopamine system hard without you realizing it. When you see those oversized, seedless, ultra-sweet grapes or giant bananas, that's the result of years of sugar-centric breeding. So even if it's natural, that doesn't mean it's harmless. Let's move on. Nansak. 3. Banana. The ultimate grab-and-go fruit. Portable, affordable, and loved by fitness influencers. But under that yellow skin, a ton of fast-digesting carbs. A single medium banana contains about 25 grams of sugar, mostly glucose and fructose. There's only about 3 grams of fiber to slow it down. So yes, it gives you a quick energy spike, but then the crash. Even worse, the riper the banana, the sweeter it gets. Those brown spots, that's the sugar content peaking. If you're insulin resistant or trying to avoid cravings, a ripe banana might not help. Bananas are also very starchy, which makes them harder to digest for some people. They can cause bloating or gas, especially when underripe. And for those with IBS or FODMAP sensitivity, they might be a trigger. Now, let's be fair. Bananas are rich in potassium, vitamin B6, and magnesium. That's great for recovery after workouts or replenishing electrolytes. But if you're not running marathons or lifting heavy, you probably don't need that fast carb load every day. So enjoy a banana, just don't put it on a pedestal. 4. Mango. Mango is like candy disguised as fruit. It's soft, juicy, bright orange, and dangerously sweet. One medium mango can contain up to 45 grams of sugar. That's more than a Snickers bar. The glycemic index of mango is moderate around 55. But due to the high fructose load, it still spikes blood sugar and slams your liver, especially if you're eating it often. And most people don't stop at one slice, they eat the whole fruit. That's where the danger lies. Here's something most people don't know. Fructose doesn't raise blood sugar directly. It gets processed in the liver, and when your liver is overloaded, the excess gets turned into fat. That can lead to fatty liver, elevated triglycerides, and insulin resistance, all precursors to metabolic syndrome. Another issue? Mango allergy. Some people experience skin irritation, itchiness, or even throat swelling. This is due to a compound called urushiol, the same one found in poison ivy. Yes, really. Mango juice and mango smoothies are even worse. You remove the fiber, and what's left is basically a dessert drink. To be fair, mango is rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, and beta-carotene. It can support immunity and skin health. But again, this should be viewed as a special occasion fruit, not a daily staple. Mission 5. Pineapple. Tropical, tangy, and bold, pineapple has that punch, but with that punch comes problems. First, the sugar. Pineapple contains around 22 grams of sugar per 100 grams, which means a normal portion gives you 25-30 grams of sugar, and almost no fiber to balance it. Then there's the acidity. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits. It can irritate your stomach lining, cause reflux, or trigger mouth ulcers in sensitive individuals. It also contains bromelain, a digestive enzyme that can be beneficial in small amounts, but in larger quantities. It can actually cause irritation or increase bleeding risk if you're on certain medications. And don't get me started on pineapple juice. It's basically sugar water with acid. No fiber, no satiety. Just a quick insulin spike and a slow dental erosion. That said, pineapple does have anti-inflammatory properties and is rich in vitamin C, which supports immunity. But daily consumption, especially in juice form, not a good idea. Bottom line, pineapple might be tropical and trendy, but it's one of the least gentle fruits on your body. We've been told all our lives, eat more fruit. Fruit is nature's candy. It's good for you. And yes, fruit can be part of a healthy diet, but context matters. The type of fruit, the portion size, the timing, your goals, and even your genetics, they all play a role. Today's fruits are not wild fruits. They've been selectively bred for sweetness and convenience, often at the cost of fiber, complexity, and balance. Just because it grows on a tree or vine doesn't mean it's automatically healthy. So be mindful. Choose fruits with lower sugar, higher fiber, and better nutrient density, like berries, kiwi, papaya, grapefruit, or green apples. So what do you think of this list? Let me know in the comments which fruit surprised you the most. Do you still eat them regularly, or will you reconsider after this? Personally, I avoid these 5 most of the time. Not because they're poison, but because for me the downsides outweigh the benefits. Now, I really encourage you to check out my other video, the full fruit ranking, where I compare a wider range of fruits and show you which ones are truly worth eating and which to limit. You'll learn a lot, and it might just change your next grocery list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in that next video.